for yesterday's stream. I was on my way to the studio to do some recording. So again, if you guys get a chance, I'll let you guys know once it comes out. And I've done like a sit down discussion, and it's one that was interesting. So you guys might actually like it. It's a bit about my early career in football. Some of you might have known this already. And then we just had different kind of chats as well. So yeah, when it comes out, I'll definitely let you guys know. And yeah, be sure to watch it. And again, be sure to comment and let me know. But big up yourselves each and every time for coming through. Big up to all the mods. Big up to Lumi. Lumi's gonna be I'm guessing Lumi's gonna have a massive battery in her back today after her team finally got a win. And Yokere's finally getting off the mark, so she's gonna be very happy. Big up to Jay each and every time. Big up to Agnes Fortinish as well. Big up to Royal Master as well. Big up to Arsenal and Pakistan cricket team. And big up to Jude Fenwick. Guys, each and every time it's appreciated. So when you come through, make sure you smash the like button. And as always, make sure you sub to the channel at GavGoesIn. I think I'm on just past 1,350, guys. So I think I'm on 1,355. So again, if you haven't subbed to the channel, make sure you do. And as I said, make sure you interact with the chat as well. And big up yourselves. So obviously yesterday's stream, guys, I'll just touch on it a bit more, as I said, because my phone was playing up. I think the signal went, as obviously I was driving. So I couldn't actually see some of the latest chats that say that the stream actually froze, So apologies for that. But yeah, I was talking about Rodri, Man City's Rodri. And as I said, I think the fact that Rodri's got an injury now and he's out to mid-September, you'd have to believe now that City actually go into the market and get someone. I'll be very surprised if they don't go and get cover, or at least bring in another body into that squad. Obviously, their game kicks off on 5:30, I believe, against Wolves. First game of the Premier League season. And again, certain Carlos Baleba that's been linked to Man United. You'd have to believe that that they might actually go in for him. I'm hoping not. I'm hoping United seal the deal, but I think City might be involved in it. Who knows? But we'll have to wait and see. But big up yourselves, guys, and go through some of your chats, and then we're gonna get on to talk about a certain Rasmus Hojlund. Yeah. Big up to Jay. So Jay says, "Yo, chat, what's up? Big up yourselves and big up Gav. Yeah, listen, appreciate it, bro. Appreciate each and every time." Jude says, "Finally back on time to watch Gav." Yeah, listen, man. As I said, you guys coming through and support, appreciated. It's a pure footballing channel. Obviously we like wrestling, we like UFC, we like boxing. So those comments are always welcome. But if you want to get real football chat, this is the channel. It's a no holds barred conversations. You guys are not on here to agree with me, but what we are on here to do is debate out how we see fit in terms of footballing opinions. So big up yourselves and keep your questions as always coming through and your comments. Let's see. Yeah, Lumi, I knew you'd come at this. So, Gav, did you see Havertz's goal? He won't give up his place to Gyökeres easily, by the way. Yeah, listen, I did see Kai Havertz's goal. To be fair, Kai Havertz has got a very good change of pace. He was someone that, when I first see him come through, I didn't realise he was actually that quick, And to be fair, the running power and the pace that he showed, and again, the composure to finish off, was impressive, to be honest with you. But, again, I'm going to say it. Mikel Arteta likes Kai Havertz. And the problem is, when you've got the captain in Odegaard and now you've got the new signing in Gyökeres, how is he going to justify fitting in Kai Havertz? This is the problem. So he's going to have to juggle that squad well and keep every player happy. So whether he can do that or not remains to be seen. But yeah, listen, Kai Havertz's goal was good, but again, first game of the season, we're going to see what Arsenal got. And again, against my team, which we're going to get on to a bit later, who knows? Who knows? No, I think, as I keep saying, I think it's going to be a draw, if I'm honest, But big up, Lumi. Big up to Wayne Griffins as well for coming back through. Big up, Wayne. So Arsenal Pakistan cricket team says, I hate Havertz. He scores consistently in the first few games, and the rest of the season he plays terrible. Yeah, I think Kai Havertz, for me, I do think he's a decent player. I'm not gonna say he's world class or he's a great player. I'm not gonna say that. I do think he's a very good player though. But as I said, I think it's one of them things where he's gonna have competition for his place, and something's got to give. Because either I don't believe Gyökeres, Odegaard, and Havertz can all play in the same team. So something's got to give, and that's something for Arteta to think about. Gav, Calafiori even played good yesterday. I'm in love with our depth now. It's mad. Yeah, listen, I would call it false depth, if I'm honest. I think it's false depth because Calafiori was brought to be a starter and to cover left centre back, and Lewis Skelly is comfortably ahead of him now. He's never going to get the centre back position from Gabriel. So again, you can look at it as depth, but I don't think he saw his career path at Arsenal being a backup player. So as I said, I think it is concerning for Calafiori that Lewis Skelly's come from nowhere really, and he's a starter for Arsenal at left back, even though he's not a left back. And then you've got Gabriel, who's arguably their best defender, along with Saliba. So yeah, he's not going to figure, man. So yeah, that's one for him to think about. I reckon he probably gets moved on. I think January he'll stay for cover, but end of the season, I'll be very interested to see if he's still there because, as we know, Lewis Skelly is an England international. He's come through the youth, so they're going to be pushing him a lot more to retain his place. Big up to Daniela as well. Big up for coming through. If Martinelli plays the way he did yesterday, we don't need a left winger. He can be class. And you know what? This makes me laugh. It's like certain players can be terrible for so many games, and they put one decent performance in. Again, I've not seen the game. So, but from what I'm hearing, I heard that he actually played quite well. But again, it means nothing because it's one of them things where Madueke is at the club. So Madueke is going to need to get game time because of how much he cost. So whether Arteta benches Martinelli, what's going to happen to Trossard as well to give Madueke game time. Again, these are going to carry its own problems. So yeah, this is something that a lot of Arsenal fans need to be aware of because there's players there that have to play really in people's eyes and going by how much they're getting paid. So yeah, it's one of them things. Big up to Anna Chyler. Yeah, big up Anna for coming through. Jude says, has Nico Williams fallen off? I don't think he's fallen off. I don't think he's ever been up there, if I'm honest. I think Nico Williams he's literally reminiscent of what wingers we see today in football. Someone that's that's got mad pace, very direct, but a bit hit and miss. And I think there's too many wide players in the game like that. So yeah, as I said, I think I don't think he's fallen off. I just think he's someone that is found his level, I would say. The fact that he signed that new contract at Athletic Bilbao, is ridiculous, really. I think he signed something like a 10-year contract or something mad like that. I heard 8-year contract or something like that. And the release clause is going to be higher as well. So, yeah, it's mad. It's mad. Why do I think Noni Madueke will cook as a left wing? Well, listen, if he does cook, I'm not quite sure what he's going to be cooking. I'm telling you now, he ain't going to be cooking you guys to first place in the league. That's what I do know. So, yeah, big up Arsenal and Pakistan. But, yeah, listen, let's just tamper expectations with Noni Madueke because he ain't cooking too much for me, But, listen, I think from what I heard, decent performance, but that's all it is, really. That's all it is. Let's see what happens come the start of the season. Big up to Chris and Mark. Big up for coming back through, man. You know what, yeah? This is funny. And I literally, Lumi, you know what, yeah? I knew you was going to come out with this, yeah? So Havertz has been hitting the gym. His physicality is very good. So, yeah, you know what? I heard about this a little while ago. I heard that Havertz is has got a bit more leaner, you know? And, again, well done to him. But is that going to take Arsenal to a Premier League title? Because it's not, you know? But, yeah, no, I've noticed Havertz does look a little bit leaner. And, I mean, to be fair, these guys are training every day, so it's impossible for them to not be in tip-top condition, let's be honest. And I think because the league's quite physical as well, I think someone like him with his kind of slight frame, he would need to be, you know, a bit more physically imposing. So that's probably what he's probably looked at, you know. And who knows? Maybe he's been on the phone to Mesut Ozil. That's probably why he's probably done that. I don't know. But yeah, listen, is he going to take you to a league title? I very much doubt it. So big up to DJ Double L. Yeah, big up to Arsenal. So, listen, we're going to get on to Rasmus Hojlund in a minute. I'm just going to go through some of your chats. Obviously, you guys are taking the time to come through and contribute to the channel. So I'm going to read through some of your chats. And then obviously we're going to talk about Rasmus Hojlund. Yeah, my day's been good so far, Royal Master, man. Royal Team Master. Yeah, it's been okay. It's been okay. So I'm going to enjoy this weather. Hope you guys are enjoying the weather as well. You know, weather's been nice over the last weekend. Yesterday was nice as well. So yeah, I'm gonna chill out, go to the gym, and then probably come back and have a barbecue or something. Enjoy this English weather for once. So yeah, listen, I've been good. So Lumi says, Gav, we'll give your take on the United's game. So Darwin Núñez to Al Hilal. Yep. Listen, I think the fact that Darwin Núñez is gone, Liverpool still have one more signing in them. Again, everything points towards Alexander Isak. But I do think if they don't get Isak, I do think they go into the market for someone. So, yeah, I do think they get someone over the line. Guys, come on, we got 10 likes. There's 19 of you in there at the moment. Let's smash the like button, guys. So just one press of the button. And again, as always, make sure you sub to the channel if you haven't done so already. Big up to Scott Beatty. Says, what country do you live in? The UK. Big up for coming through. Someone called Keith Flick. Keith Kazama Flick. We got a hater in the building, guys. Keith Kazama Flick. Big up, Keith, for coming through, man. So Havertz simply offers better passing because he plays like a false nine. Yeah, listen. But again, this is why it's gonna be interesting to see what Arteta does, because when you bring in Madueke and you bring in Gyökeres, you know, and for the money that they brought him in for as well, you'd have to assume that these guys are going to be starters. The problem is now is that they changed the philosophy of what Arsenal do. Because if you're going to play Madueke, you're not going to play him for Saka. So that means you've got to play him on the other side, which means the inverting from the right-footed player is not going to happen because, of course, Madueke is left-footed. And then if you look at the way that Kai Havertz drops deep, links the play, you know, drops into midfield a lot of the times, Gyökeres ain't going to do that because Gyökeres is a striker that wants to play that wants to play either on the shoulder, you know, or wants to play as a target man striker for his team. So again, they're going away from what they've done previously, but you know, it could work out, you know. But if they're looking at if they're looking at Gyökeres and Madueke to be, you know, to change the style of play in certain games, then again that could work. But how they're going to keep every player happy? This is the thing, you know. So Loomis says the players I want to leave are Zinchenko, Gabriel Jesus, and Trossard. Decent, but time to upgrade on them. Yeah, I think it's obvious that those three players, in terms of outgoings, will be the next three, probably, you would say. I think those three players as well. And I forget that you guys have actually still got Gabriel Jesus. So, Lumi, I agree. When you're saying you guys have got a squad, again, you have got a massive squad. But I don't know how you're going to keep all these players happy, because we would say what Zinchenko right now is what, third choice left back behind Lewis Skelly and Calafiori. Gabriel Jesus now, you would believe he's third choice striker behind Gyökeres and Havertz. And Trossard can play as a false nine as well. Obviously play from the left. But we would probably say that Trossard is, yeah, probably third choice left winger behind Martinelli and Madueke, you would say. So, yeah, those guys there, I think they'll be looking to move them on. Whether they move them on in this window, I don't know. But I think it does need to happen, you know, for their careers. And again, got the World Cup coming up. You know, Trossard, you most probably think will be going with Belgium, but we'll need to get game time. Gabriel Jesus will want to be staking his claim for a place in the Brazil squad. And then Zinchenko with Ukraine. So these guys are going to need to get football somewhere. So whether they go on loan, you know, I think that's something for them to think about, and the club. Gav, rate Atletico Madrid's transfer window. I mean, who they signed again? I think they signed Alex Baena, who I like. I think he's a very good player. Johnny Cardozo from Real Betis. Those are the two players that I think they've signed off the top of my head. I'm going to say about a 6 out of 10, 6, 7 out of 10. But again, I think they might have signed more players, but I forgot. So, big up to Samuel Mark Ingram, says Ethan Wanyeri and Max Dowman will be ruined by the Spanish Roberto Martinez, Mikel Arteta. Yeah, big up to Samuel. Listen, Samuel, you're spot on with your comment, man. I can't disagree anymore. I think you've got two players there in Wanyeri and Max Dowman who are highly talented. But under this manager is not going to allow them to express themselves, because of coaches in football now. These coaches want to control everything, you know. And Wanyeri, for me, I rate him very highly. I think he's a very, very good footballer. But the fact that he hasn't really been a regular, you know, in this Arsenal team, especially with how Odegaard's been playing as of late, you know, is confusing as to why he signed that new long-term deal. I think the best thing for him would have been to move away for the best of his career and try and stake a regular place, because that'd be better for his development. Because this season, I can't see him getting the game time that he probably deserves or that he's going to get, because, as I've mentioned previously, the two positions that he plays, the captain plays there, Havertz can play there, you know. On the right-hand side, you've got Saka, who's the first choice. Then Madueke can play there, and he costs 52 million. So, yeah, it's going to be tough him getting regular game time. Max Dowman, for me, you know, he's only 15, and to be fair, he's definitely got potential. But is he going to be a regular for Arsenal moving forwards? It's unlikely, just because of the same thing that I mentioned with Wanyeri. Wanyeri's got the same problem that Dowman has, and Wanyeri is ahead in his career than what Dowman is. And Dowman's still young at 15. So, yeah, it's going to be mad to see what happens. But I definitely agree with you, Samuel, that that Mikel Arteta is going to stifle those guys' progression, in my opinion as well, because he wants to control everything. And players like that, you got to just let them get on the pitch and play. You know, don't give them too many instructions, because these guys will work it out. You know, when you're highly technical and talented like that, just let them play. So, but no, I agree, man. But big up yourself. Bold take, Noni Madueke will get 25 GA and will become a left winger. 25 GA. Okay. Big up to Arsenal and Pakistan cricket team. I don't see it, but who knows? Right, guys, I'm going to go through back some of your questions in a bit. I'm just gonna get on to Rasmus Hojlund, obviously, because that's the title for today. So last night, obviously, broke that AC Milan are looking at Rasmus Hojlund. They're interested in the loan deal. I think the loan deal might be something like 6 to 8 million. I think it might be euros, and then a future option to buy for, I think it might be 40 million. You know, and again, 40 million euros. Yeah, and again, first things first. The fact that the club are trying to move out Hoyland is music to my ears, because this is a guy that, again, any of you guys that have been watching the channel for any period of time, you will know that I've been very consistent with this player. This player is nowhere near good enough. For me, he's the worst striker in the Premier League, and I think he'll struggle to get into a lot of championship teams. I think he's that bad, because I look at what he has, and it's not a lot. He only has a bit of pace, his game understanding, his touch, his technique for a left-footed player isn't great. You know, the fact that he, just wants to just wrestle up against defenders consistently, again, is a problem. And the fact that United have finally seen the light with this player, and again, Sesko's obviously over the line now. Obviously, Sesko's signed. The fact that Sesko's signed, if Rasmus goes out, then again, I'm content with that. Because Sesko wasn't my first choice signing, but he's here now, and if that means Rasmus goes out the door, then it's great business from Man United for me. And the fact that United didn't give him any minutes yesterday, and they're trying to let him know that he's not required. Do you know what? You can only respect that, because for too long, Man United have been hanging on to players that are just ultimately not good enough. And this player is nowhere near the level for the money he cost as well. And the fact that the club are acting like a serious club again, in terms of the transfers, in terms of the interest in players, and in terms of getting rid of certain players, you have to kind of just commend that, really. And I'm someone that has been disillusioned with this club for so long, and I can finally say for the first time in ages, that this club looks like it's going in the right direction. The game yesterday, again, I didn't catch the whole game. I only catched bits of the second half, and to be honest with you, it's concerning, and I'm not surprised it's concerning, because I've been saying this for a while. People want to give Ruben Amorim chance after chance, give him his players. Guys, I think we need to just realize that this manager's not good enough. He's not going to be the manager that's going to turn United into anything serious. He's not. He's not, because that game yesterday, as I say, I watched the second half, 1-1 against Fiorentina, ended up winning on penalties. That game was so boring. There was nothing really going on. He's hell bent on playing the same old players. The likes of Bruno Fernandes. He plays every minute of every game, and I'm just bored of seeing the same thing. I want to see something different. I want to see a manager come in and just looks at Bruno and thinks, you know what, for the betterment of the team, you have to come out of the team, and then let him to just either sit on the bench or let him move on. But this manager just keeps playing Bruno Fernandes every minute of every game. And Bruno just does the same thing. He gets the ball, pumps it into the box, head it, the defense clear it away. Then he tries Hollywood balls. It's just, the whole thing's boring. The whole thing is so boring, And from what I see yesterday, I didn't see too many good performances, in that second half. I think Mason Mount, to be fair, he offered a lot of energy. But again, if you've got a guy that's on 250k a week, that's number 7 on his back, it's cost 60 million, and the best thing that we can look at is his energy, again, that just shows you that there's problems there. Because Mason Mount doesn't fit into this team, because there's too many players there that the manager wants to play and has to play. So, again, Mason Mount showing a lot of energy, isn't going to get Man United anywhere. I think the bar's so low for Mason Mount because of what I've just mentioned and how much he costs and how much he's on. The bar's so low that he can just come in and have a half decent performance, and he gets hyped up. And again, guys, these commentators, do not listen to them, because they're doing free PR. The amount of PR that they were doing for Mason Mount yesterday was an absolute joke. You know, they were saying they were going on as if Mason Mount was the best player on the pitch. You know, and again, PR in full effect when it comes to him. But yeah, I thought he was decent. But again, what's decent really? They ain't gonna help Man United do anything. You know, I thought Embuemo and Cunha, you know, they're two players that I like a lot, but I think they're going to take time to adapt to the start of this play, to the start of play. Um, Casemiro, from what I see, was decent, you know, and Lenny Yoro was very good. But yeah, listen, it's just Patrick Dorgu again was consistent. Ahmad's penalty for the Panenka penalty for the shootout was class. But guys, I already told you about Ahmad. I don't like seeing Ahmad at wing back, and this is why I can't stand this system, because this system is having people think Ahmad is a wing back when he's actually a number 10, a right winger. But this system, he has to play as a wing back because he probably looks better as a wing back than as a 10 in this system. Not to mention now he's got Brian Embuemo there now. That's been signed. So the fact that this system is seeing us look at Ahmad as a wing back is why it's a problem for me. It's a massive problem, and until this manager is removed, we're going to continue seeing Ahmad play wing back, which again is someone of Ahmad's quality. He needs to be, you know, like I want to see Ahmad in the 10. You know, I want to see Ahmad in the 10, and Bueno on the right, Cunha from the left, Xerxes the striker. That's what I want to see, because Ahmad at wing back is an absolute joke. But yeah, again, this is this manager. You know, but again, not a great performance, and the fact that Rasmus Hojlund got 0 minutes just shows you that the club are trying to force him out. You know, and again, I personally think the club are doing right by doing that, because they're showing intent to Rasmus. You know, that he has to go by any means. You know, and I'm hearing reports saying that Rasmus wants to stay. Well, of course, Rasmus wants to stay. You know, Rasmus must be counting his lucky stars that he's at Manchester United. You know, because he should be nowhere near the club. So of course he wants to stay, but Man United just need to act and get him out of there. You know, I don't want to hear United, you know, want to give him a second chance, or they want to see how he gets on till January. He's a nothing player, man. Get him out of it. He's the worst striker, as I said, in the league. And I just hope something materializes, and I think it will. I think this week, I'm gonna say by Wednesday or Thursday, I think we should get some definite movement on the Carlos Baleba and the Rasmus Hojlund. Hopefully, and obviously Garnacho going out the door as well. Hopefully it's before that, but I'm gonna say by Wednesday or Thursday, you know, things should be wrapped up by then. I'll be very surprised if it's not, you know. But yeah, the fact that AC Milan are looking at Rasmus Hojlund, again, AC Milan are not gonna pay. I mean, I would love, you know, AC Milan to come in and just offer a straight fee for Rasmus, you know, but they're not going to do that. So it's looking like a loan deal for sure, with an option to buy. But the fact that United are trying to get him at the club, you know, is good, and that's all that can be asked for, really. That they're trying to make moves to get him to get rid of him, which is good. So, but yeah, guys, back to your comments. Big up yourselves. So Samuel Mark Ingram says, hopefully Man United sign Baleba in time for the Arsenal game. Yeah, bro, listen, man, I'm praying they do. I'm praying they do. I think at this moment in time, I would have to say, I think United get a draw from this game. You know, I'd love United to beat Arsenal. Obviously, rivalries and that as well. But I'm gonna say a draw. You know, that I think United at home, I can see them getting a draw. If Baleba signs, I'm going to be more optimistic and say, yeah, United can win this game. Because I do think United can win this game anyway. But from what I've been seeing of how they've been playing throughout pre-season, I'm not that confident. So I'm going to say a draw. But I think if Baleba signs before that, and I'm praying he does, I'm going to say United should win that game with Baleba in midfield. I think he's that massive of a signing, that good of a player. So yeah, I'm gonna say if he does sign, they'll edge the game. But who knows? Who knows? But guys, I'll be doing a live watch along for that as well. So if you guys want to come through and watch the watch along with me, then yeah, I'll be organizing that stream during the week. So yeah, keep an eye on the notifications and on my schedule as well. Um, big up to Alicia. Is it Low? Is it Alicia Lulijwa? Mad name. Big up Alicia. Yeah, listen. Arsenal and Pakistan cricket team. Listen. Leave Rodrigo alone, man. You're not getting Rodrigo. I don't know where this Rodrigo talk is coming from, but you guys are not getting Rodrigo. You've signed Madueke. Madueke is your was your alternative to Rodrigo. So let's allow that, man. You guys are not getting him. Yeah, there you go. What's the point of spending 52 mil on a backup? Noni Madueke. It makes no sense. So he's gonna play. He's gonna get game time. So again, yeah, that's something that Arsenal fans need to get to grips with, because Madueke will get game time. He will, because you don't spend that money to leave him rotting on the bench, because he was better off staying at Chelsea on the bench. So big up to Skepta. Big up Skepta, man. Do you think Everton are a better team than Man United? No. No. I think, be fair, Everton have got some very good individuals. I like Iliman NDI. I think he's a very good player. Who else they got? I forgot his name now. Iliman NDI. I mean, he's the standout one. You know, I'm trying to think what else they got now. They got Dewsbury Hall now. I think Dewsbury Hall is a very good player. Yeah, Dewsbury Hall's a very good player. They're trying to get Jack Grealish in. I mean, if they get Jack Grealish in, Grealish comes in automatically their best player, and this will mean that they're looking to be serious. You know, moving to the new stadium as well. But yeah, Grealish will be a great signing for them. Whether he goes there or not, I don't know. You know, they're gonna have to offer him something major for them to convince him to go there. Big up to Uni4M, says tattoo meanings. Oh, there's loads. There's loads. There's ones in reference to my late father. There's quotes that I like. Yeah, there's loads. There's loads. There's ones reference to my mother as well. So yeah, there's loads of different meanings on there. Yeah, I'll probably be here all day. But yeah, and again, I like tattoos as well. So yeah, but big up Uni for him. So Liverpool will get Isak or Barcola. So yeah, I done a stream on this the other day actually. I said, I said Barcola could be a good alternative to Isak. Not in the sense that they're direct players, you know, but because Barcola is a wide player, obviously Isak's a striker. But I think the fact they've got Ekatike that plays through the middle and can play out from the left as well. I think if they couldn't get Isak, then getting a Barcola in, you know, that can replace a Luis Diaz who's gone. And obviously Darwin Núñez is gone as well. You know, they might go for that. But then again, they got the youngster, obviously Rio Ngamoa, that they might want to give more game time to. I think, as we know, that their whole push is towards Isak. We know that. And whether they get that over the line. Again, if you guys haven't seen my stream from the other day, I said that Newcastle were looking at Samu Omorodion of FC Porto, and they also want obviously Visser as well. I said if they get Visser and Omorodion and they get the money for Isak, I think that could be a good deal for them, because Visser has shown he can score goals in this league. Omorodion is a Spanish international and he's a physical threat as well. And you're getting 150 mil for Isak. That's good business. And they can also strengthen other parts of their team. So losing Isak would be a massive blow. But if you can get Visser and Omorodion and then go and get possibly another wire player or another midfielder, like someone of real world class potential, then I look at that as a decent window for Newcastle, But who knows, man? Who knows? They hold all the cards with the Isak transfer anyway. But I agree with Arsenal Pakistan cricket team. I said, I think Isak or Barcola could be a possibility. Although Barcola might be on the verge of signing a new contract at PSG. So, but if I'm Barcola, I don't really sign a new contract because it's quite clear that the front three, which is preferred from Luis Enrique, is Dembele, Kvaratskhelia, and Desiree Doué. So he's more or less fourth choice, really. And again, start of the season, I think he might have been one of the first names on the team sheet. So it's crazy how football works out. Guys, come on, there's 20 of you in there, 15 likes. Let's at least smash the like button. I want to try and at least hit 30 as a minimum today, guys. So if you're in the chat, and you haven't smashed the like button, again, it's just one press of the button. If you're enjoying the content, obviously help the channel to grow. And again, make sure you sub to the channel if you haven't done so already. Big up yourselves. Jay Stabler says, stay blessed, Gav. Sending love from Manny. Yeah, big up, Jay, man. Jack, sorry. Big up, man, for coming through. Yeah, appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. So Loomis says Wanyeri is more of a 10. Exactly, he is. He is actually a 10. Just like Max Dowman. They're both number 10s. But because, and again, this is what people need to realize with youngsters coming through. When you're a young player coming through, although Wanyeri and Dowman play as a 10, we actually look at that position as being crowded, centrally. And if you're a younger player coming through and you're trying to feel your way into the first team, a lot of managers do play them out from out wide to try and get them more experience, and letting them not be in the hustle and bustle of the pitch in that part of the pitch. So the thing is with Dowman and with Wanyeri, they are both number 10s, but they're not going to be number 10s to start off with going straight into that Arsenal team. So they'll be playing sometimes out on the wing. Then sometimes they might play on a 10 if the game's kind of... Let's say if Arsenal were comfortably winning, 3-4-0, and they want to give the youngsters some game time, then they might play them in that position. But these guys are going to have to bide their time, and probably get into the team in a different position. And then as they get more experience, then this is where they can kind of like dictate that they play there in a sense, So, but yeah, no, definitely both of them are number 10s. Yeah, big up, J-Man. Says John Cena turning face again brings joy to my heart. Yeah, listen, I think it was always going to happen. He's obviously on his way out of wrestling. There was no way he was going to keep up this gimmick of being a heel. So, obviously now he's lost the title to Cody Rhodes. They've obviously developed some sort of bromance relationship now. And again, he's fighting Logan Paul. That clash at the Paris. So yeah, listen, he was always going to turn face as he brings down 20 plus years career and what a career it's been in wrestling, man. He's obviously the most held the WWE title the most times, and again, one of the pioneers of wrestling, man, definitely. So the Bull SR says Madueke plays best on his left though. What do you mean he plays best on his left? He's left-footed. Do you mean he plays better on the left? Yeah, listen. Yeah, what I'm trying to say, the Bull, if you're still in the chat, is that the fact that Madueke has been brought in, you have to believe for that money he's going to play, because he's not going to take Saka's place. And then what happens to Martinelli and Trossard? Are they going to be on the bench? Because Martinelli's on about 180 a week. So how is Arteta going to justify putting Martinelli on the bench and playing Madueke? This is what I'm trying to say to you. And is he even better than is Madueke even better than Martinelli? So this is what I'm trying to say to you. It's an odd signing, because what Arsenal needs to go and do really was bring in players that are better than what they've got. This is how any team improves. If they went out and said, look, we're going to go and get, I don't know, Mohamed Kudus, Kudus could arguably oust Saka from the lineup because he's that good. You know, if you say Rodrigo, he comes in and starts, definitely. If Eze comes in, Eze can arguably start in the 10 or on the left, you know what I mean? Even though he's not a winger. But they need to bring players in that oust their first team starters. The fact that they've brought in Madueke is not better than Saka, and Madueke is even better than Martinelli. This is why I'm saying it's a weird signing, you know? But yeah, that's something that they got to deal with. Gav, how many goals do you think my centre-back Gabriel would get? I'm not sure what goat you're talking about, but Gabriel, I reckon he'll get about 5 to 6 goals this season. You know, he's an aerial threat, so I reckon about 5 to 6. Yeah. And X the ball, exactly. As you said, Kudus would have been better. He would have. But again, Kudus had his heart set on Tottenham, we was told. But I don't believe Arteta would have brought in Kudus anyway, because Kudus upsets what he's got going on there. Because if you're going to bring in a Kudus, you can't have Kudus on the bench, because Kudus should be starting whether it's on the right, in the 10, on the left. So he has to play, which is why Madueke coming in, a lot of the fans will be looking at it saying they're not that fussed if he starts or not, you know. And he's someone as well that you would probably think wouldn't be kicking up a fuss as well. So, but yeah, no, listen, it's one that Arsenal fans have got to get to grips with about Madueke, and we're going to see what happens. And first game of the season, as I said, we will be here for that. Big up to They Love Kanana. Yeah, big up for coming through. Big up to Sarge CFC. So Skepta says he'll have Trossard at Everton. Yeah, listen, I think that'd be a good signing, but I think Everton will probably be looking for someone possibly slightly younger, I would say. I know Jack Grealish is in his late 20s, I believe. But I think, what's Trossard? I think Trossard and actually Grealish might be the same age, funny enough. Yeah, possibly. That might not be a bad signing. I think Grealish would be better, though, personally, you know. Yeah, I see the results over the weekend, Championship. I see it. Yeah, Bristol City battered Sheffield United 4-1. Mad. Big up to Dave Blunt, says Calafiori is substandard and a liability. Honestly, when Arsenal don't have Gabriel, they get exposed. Look at PSG in Champions League last season. Yeah, I agree. I think with Calafiori, he's you can tell he's more suited to a slower league, you know. I think technically he's very good, but I think in this league, you know, because it's, you know, high intensity, physicality as well, I think he's gonna come. I think he's gonna come unstuck personally for me, you know. But what I would say, they've got to justify his signing, and the fact that Lewis Skelly's there and he's not gonna get ahead of Gabriel, it's making that signing look a bit silly. Let's be honest. And I think the only way Calafiori gets in there is if them guys get an injury. But then if them guys get an injury, you know, that means Arsenal are declining, you know what I mean, in their lineup, if that was to happen. So, yeah, we'll have to wait and see, man. But I think technically he's very good, but I think he's someone really that's been a bit of a waste of a signing, you know. Yeah, Wayne, big up Wayne. Wayne says Chevalier signed PSG to replace Donnarumma. Yeah, listen, yeah, that was done about a couple of days ago. So Lucas Chevalier from Lille, you know, ball playing goalkeeper, left footed as well. So yeah, he's at PSG now. So what does that mean for Donnarumma? I think Donnarumma, again, Donnarumma's got the World Cup coming up, so he's gonna be obviously wanting to play. I think Donnarumma ends up somewhere, you know, because I can't see it that they've signed Chevalier and they'll keep Donnarumma in goal because again, it's a bit of a weird signing. Because they could have agreed a signing with him to come the next season if they were sure that Donnarumma was going to be off. But with me, I think and I think I might have said this the other day. I'm surprised Newcastle haven't gone in for Donnarumma, if I'm honest, because again, he's not going to cost too much money, because of his contract running down. His wages will be high, but if Newcastle could, get rid of Nick Pope, I know they brought Ramsdale in, but Ramsdale, again, for me, between him and Nick Pope, there's not really much in it. But I think if they were to show some kind of intent, Newcastle, I don't know why they haven't been in for Donnarumma, because you'll be getting one of the best keepers in the world for a relatively low price. And yeah, you have to pay him big money, but that will show intent. And obviously, Newcastle have money anyway, so I'm just surprised that Newcastle haven't really touched base with Donnarumma's camp and at least try to get a signing like that over the line. Because imagine Donnarumma at Newcastle. They're in Champions League as well. He's a Champions League goalkeeper. They're a team that you would think will be on the up. What I would say, if they were to sign Donnarumma Newcastle, I think Newcastle at this moment in time, we're looking at them as, I would say, between 4th and 6th at this moment in time. I think if they get Donnarumma, Donnarumma for me will take them from. So I think at the moment, if we're looking at the top two of City and Liverpool, then you've got Chelsea, Arsenal, Newcastle in that conversation. Yeah, I'd say 4th to 6th Newcastle. I think Donnarumma takes them 3rd to 4th. I would say. I think that signing there will take them to 3rd to 4th. And obviously that means keeping Isak and that as well. But yeah, I think Donnarumma's a goalkeeper. I'm surprised they haven't really spoke about, which is mad. So Loomis says, Gav, do Liverpool beat Palace comfortably today? Yeah, so Community Shield, be watching that as well. You know what? I like Palace. Palace, I think Eze is going to play, Mateta, Adam Walton, Ismail Assar. I can't remember if Palace have actually signed anyone this season. I can't remember. But I think Liverpool beat them, I think. I think Liverpool, with the signings they've made, the confidence that they're going to have going into this season, you would definitely think they're going to be the favourites, no doubt. But I wouldn't rule out Palace, because Palace have got some dangerous players in their team, some very dangerous players in their team. But I think Liverpool beat them today, if I'm honest. I think it wouldn't surprise me if it's a 2-3-1, something like that. But I'm interested to see. I hope Rio gets some game time today. I think he'll definitely be in the squad. I hope he gets some game time. But yeah, listen, they're a team that's going to be tough to beat this season. But I think Palace, Palace are good. But I think Liverpool win that game, if I'm honest, yeah. Big up to Joshua Burling, says, United, come on, baby. Let's go. What do you think of the signings for you? So far, Arsenal have to win something this year, or Arteta gone 100%. Before we get on to United, so yeah, listen. Arteta needed to go 3 seasons ago, if we're being serious. The fact that he's still there, again, just shows you the standards of Arsenal really are at an all-time low. And it has been for a while, because Arteta should nowhere be at this club with the amount of money that he's spent, and he's got nothing to show for it. But again, if he wins nothing this season, I mean, I was saying the same thing last season, that he should have gone. So I can't really say if he doesn't win nothing, he'll be gone, because the club have actually, Arsenal have actually surprised me in actually keeping him after winning nothing again. So yeah, it's something that I'm not going to say he's going to go, because who knows what happens. But definitely, yeah, he should have been gone a few years for me. United, the signings, yeah, I've spoken about this before. For me, I'm very happy with Cunha and Mbeumo. Sesko, as I said, wasn't my first choice. I didn't really want Sesko. But if Rasmus Hojlund goes out the door, then listen, there'd be no complaints for me. But United have to get Carlos Baleba over the line. If Man United get Carlos Baleba over the line, and I believe they will, then I'm gonna start saying that this club is on its way back. I will. You know, there are still players that are problems in this team that are still there. The likes of Bruno Fernandes, Mason Mount. You know, you got Luke Shaw still there as well. Dallo. You know, some people don't like Anana. But there are issues in this team still. But Baleba for me is a massive signing if he does come through the door, because he's only 21. He's a player that United could have for the next 8 to 10 years. He's left-footed as well to add balance to that midfield. And it's a position that is Man United are crying out for to improve. So, yeah, listen, I just hope it gets over the line, and I believe it does, you know. But big up, man, for coming through. Guys, come on, only 15 likes. Let's at least smash the like button if you're enjoying the content. It's just one press of the button. Mods, keep pushing the likes for me. And come on, smash the likes and sub to the channel. 15's poor. Let's at least try and hit 20 as a minimum or 30 as a minimum. Dalman will just play little amounts this season. Needs to be protected at this point. Maybe next season bring him in. Yeah, but I think, me personally, I think the only way Dalman gets game time, really, is if Odegaard moves on. But even that, you would think that Wanyeri will be the next one in line. So, yeah, I just don't see where Dalman gets game time, especially where he plays, because Wanyeri's ahead of him, Odegaard's the captain, and Saka's the first choice on where he plays. So, yeah, I just don't know, but he's definitely got potential for sure, 100%. Big up to Gunners fan. Big up to Loki, says Milan is not begging. Yeah, listen, you can't beg for Rasmus Hojlund, man. You can't be doing that. I'm surprised they actually want him in the first place. But again, they're looking at his a profile that he is that could help them in Serie A. Because again, Serie A, what is that, Atalanta? You know, his pace was a problem in that league. But again, that's because it's a slower league. So maybe AC are looking at that. You know, I'm very surprised Ibrahimovic is actually looking at him, to be fair. But again, it's probably because they're looking at his physicality and thinking that he's been in the league before as well, and he can actually do a job. So that's where I think it is. But as long as he gets at my club, I'm happy, and that's what I'm looking forward to, really. So Joshua says, good content, brother. I'm a United fan, but Arsenal have to win something this year. Yeah, appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Listen, Arsenal, and I'm guessing a lot of Arsenal fans would have to agree with this as well. For me, Arsenal winning a Carabao Cup or an FA Cup, I think the amount of money that's been spent on them on that team, they've surpassed that. So for me, it's a Champions League or a league title that they have to win. And I think that's quite fair in saying that. I think the amount of money, how long Arteta has been there, you know, the only thing that will make it a success of a season for Arsenal is Champions League or a Premier League title. I think anything other than those two, then they've failed. And do I believe they win an FA Cup or a Champions League? No, I don't. So just based on that, I would say that it's been a bit of it's going to be a struggle for them to keep him, in my opinion. And not just that as well, I think the likes of William Saliba, definitely. Who knows, maybe Saka, but I think it's unlikely with Saka. But I think if Arsenal don't win nothing this season, I think Saliba could be off, you know, because I don't think Saliba's signed a new contract yet. And I think that's why they brought in Christian Mosquito. Mosquera. That's why they brought him in, because I think it's more of a contingency in case Saliba goes, you know. So big up to Ammo. Big up Ammo for coming through. So Chrism Ark says Cunha will be United's top goal slash assist player. I believe he's a top player. Just a surprise United got to sign him. Yeah, listen, Cunha's a very good player. As I said already, Cunha's going to get very frustrated this season with the team. You can already see it because there's times where he isn't getting the ball in situations when he wants it. He hasn't been great. There's been times he's been giving the ball away. Miscontrolling the ball as well. But he's a very good player, man. And the fact that United got him in, and they're bringing more quality to the team, is a positive. I think the more quality players you've got around, the likes of Cunha, the likes of Ahmad, Embuemo, Xerxes, the more better players that you've got in there, the better the team's going to function. So that's what it is. Johnny Thunderer says, mate, there is only one team that are going to run away with the EPL and the Champions League, Liverpool. Everything else is just fantasy. Chelsea will come a distant second. Pin this message, it will age well. Yeah, big up Johnny for coming through, man. I think at this moment in time, you couldn't disagree with that really, because Liverpool have shown massive intent. However, I think Man City are going to have a surprise for Liverpool. I just got a feeling that Liverpool are not going to have it their own way. I mean, the signings that they've actually made just shows you that the intent that they're looking to do, and they want to defend this title. But I just got a feeling that Man City are going to make a couple of signings still, or make one major signing, and I think they're gonna give Liverpool a run for this title. I believe. I think they'll be the closest challengers. Again, Chelsea, I think, should be up there as well. But I think Liverpool and City, man, it's going to be between them two. So, but big up for coming through, man. So Jay says, I heard on TalkSport Liverpool has no striker in reality. They got Gakpo and Rio and Ekatike. They only lost Darwin and unfortunately Dogo Jota. So they said they need Alexander Isak. But Jay, that's obvious. Yeah, that's obvious. They want Isak. The fact that Darwin Núñez is gone and the fact that Luis Diaz is gone as well. The Diaz one, they've got Gakpo, they've got Rio coming through. Ekatike can play from the left as well. Florian Wirtz can play there also. So the Diaz one was a no-brainer. And the fact that Diaz was on less money as well, it was one of them things where, yeah, them getting rid of Diaz, isn't that much of a blow in comparison to what they've got. Them getting rid of Darwin Núñez is a clear sign that they want Alexander Isak, and again, as we know, they're going all out to try and get Isak. Whether they get him or not is a different story, but Isak is their top target, which is obvious, and if they don't get Isak, I do think they still get someone, whether they get another wide player or go for another striker. But I think everything points towards them pursuing Isak until Newcastle kind of buckle. But again, it's in Newcastle's the ball is in Newcastle's court, so they haven't got to sell him. So yeah. Gav, which young defender do you think will be the best out of these? Kusanov, Mosquera, or Yoro? Listen, that's the easiest question to ask me, man. Lenny Yoro for me is a generational defender. He is and I'm not just saying this because I'm a Man United fan. Lenny Yoro's that good, and the fact that Lenny Yoro's playing the back three, I think that's giving him a bit more strings to his bow, if you know what I mean. But Lenny Yoro for me is a centre back in a 4. But as a 3, you get to see how good he is in terms of bringing the ball out from defence. So I've got no worries about Lenny Yoro whatsoever. I think if he stays injury-free, that's a generational defender there. 100%. Future French international as well. You know what? I like Kusanov. And again, I'm actually Man City on my FIFA career mode. And I'll tell you now, you see Kusanov, he's going to be some defender because I've got Yoro and Kusanov as my 2 right-sided centre-backs. And funny enough, Kusanov is my starter because Kusanov is that good, And again, looking at the stats of both players, Lenny Yoro's got a better overall rating. I think Lenny Yoro for me at the moment is 83 and Kusanov's only 81. And Kusanov is performing a lot better. Like, he's dominant in the air, physically strong. He's got pace as well. So yeah, I think Kuznanov's going to be very good. And Man City have got themselves a very good defender for the future. And obviously I know it's FIFA, but the way that he is the way that he plays on FIFA, I think he's definitely going to have a big future in the game, man. So, but yeah, I'm going Lenny Yoro. Mosquito. Um, yeah, I think he's a good defender, but he's not in the class of Lenny Yoro. So yeah, I'm gonna say Lenny Yoro, but yeah, watch out for Kusanov, definitely. Gav, did you see that amazing Mount link up play? Lumi, listen. Let's stop this Mount prop. Come on. I know he's from Portsmouth, like you, but we're not doing that today. Come on. Mount is on 250k a week. He costs 60 mil, and I'm not here for his link up play. Because at the end of the day, where is he gonna play? He's not. Because there's too many players that have to play in the manager's eyes. And the fact that he wants to play certain players. So Mount doesn't figure, But listen, why don't you guys come and sign him? If you can, tell Arteta to come and put a bid in for Mount. That'd be good. Yeah, big up Ammo, man. No worries. Listen, I'm live like more or less every day, man. So as long as you come through, man, and show the support, that's all that can be asked. But big up, man. Nice to see you stationary, Gav. Yeah, listen. When I first started doing my streams, it was actually in my car, and again, I've only been doing it recently because I've been on my way to somewhere, and I thought, you know what, I'll give you guys some content, and I think I've quickly found out, that doing it driving is not good. Is not good, as all of you should know anyway. But yeah, listen, I've been doing it because I've been driving somewhere. Yesterday, I went to the studio to do some pre-recording, and again, that'll be coming out hopefully this week. But yeah, listen, it's been a bit of a problem, let's just say. But big up, man. Johnny says Liverpool will pick up the Charity Shield in a few hours. Verts will score, and Liverpool will be a minimum 6 points ahead in the EPL by Christmas. Who agrees? I'm guessing Johnny can see into the future. But yeah, listen, I think Liverpool winning the Charity Shield, Community Shield, I would agree. Florian Wirtz, listen, Florian Wirtz, one of my favourite players. And whether he scores or not, he will definitely have an impact in this game. Liverpool 6 points ahead in the Premier League by Christmas. I don't know. Because I think Man City and possibly Chelsea will have something to say about that. But listen, I couldn't disagree with a lot of things you said there. But I think the 6 points, who knows, man. But I think definitely Liverpool and maybe Wirtz might be a possibility. But big up, man. Do you know what, Gunners fan? That's a great comment. Kusanov sounds like a rifle on Call of Duty, and you know what? You're thinking of Dragunov. There's a rifle called Dragunov, but you know what? The fact that you come out of that is sick, man, because it's the NOV bit at the end of Kusanov's name. But yeah, it's actually Dragunov. Yeah, so Dragunov is actually a rifle in Call of Duty. But big up, man. Big up to Remington Page. Yeah, big up, man. Guys, come on, 17 likes, smash the like button and sub to the channel. Yeah, big up to Niche fan. Yeah, listen, Ahmad is no wing back. You're correct, man. He's no wing back. He's a 10. Yeah. And as I said, this is one of the major reasons why I want to see the back of this manager, because this manager is not changing his system for shit. And as long as that happens, we have to look at Ahmad as a wing-back, because if Ahmad goes to any other club in world football, he's playing as a 10 or as a right winger, But this manager's got him doing up doggies, running up and down as a wing-back, doing defending. And this is a guy that should be in the final third, showing his class and his quality. So it's an issue, man. Massive issue. Yeah, big up to Dave Blunt. Dave, you've hit the nail on the head, Dave. So Dave says Amarim trying to fit Bruno into his system will be the death of him. His ego combines with Bruno's hot-headedness may prove to be pivotal. Dave, listen, you've hit the nail on the head. The fact that he keeps trying to shoehorn this Bruno Fernandes into the team is what's going to sack him. Because he's going to try and shoehorn Diogo Dalot in there as well. And that's going to be the undoing of Amarim. Because you can't be that stubborn for so long. You know, Bruno shouldn't be playing in the first place. You know, Bruno should have been moved at this club at the start of the summer window, and United should have gone in a different direction. But the fact that he's still there, he plays every game, every minute of every game, and this manager is not going to change things, is what's going to be his undoing. So, yeah, I definitely agree with you, man. 100% agree. Yeah, listen, 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1. You know, he's not going to do that, by the way, but this is why I think he's going to fail, because if he keeps trying to stick with this three at the back system, the three at the back system, there ain't nothing wrong with it, really, but it's the way he interprets it. You know, plays fullbacks at wing back, there's players out of position, you know, so, and people keep saying he needs more players. And again, it's one of them things where he's been given 3 players, possibly another one coming in Baleba in 4. So, yeah, I don't hear no excuses, put it that way. Yeah, listen, as Amo said, Bruno's been the problem for years. You know, he's been the problem for years. But again, he's got the freedom of Old Trafford, man. And until a manager comes in and changes that, Man United are always going to keep failing. You know, I'm sick and tired of saying the same thing. It's actually boring now. You know, any of you that have been watching my channel will know that I've been talking about Bruno Fernandes for years. You know, he's a massive problem for this football club, and a lot of fans just can't see it. You know, but then when United keep failing, and Bruno a bit the hub of it, don't be surprised. You know. Right, guys, I'm going to skim through some of your comments before we wrap up. But big up yourselves for coming through. So, Gunners fan says, Eze and another left winger will get Arsenal the Premier League. Yeah, possibly. Possibly. But I don't see you signing Eze and a winger. It's going to be one or the other. So, Amo says, don't worry, Gav. We'll give you 12 M's for a Garnacho loan. Bro, I'll take 10 M's and a packet of crisps for Garnacho. Just get him at the club. I don't mind. Listen, if any other club wants Garnacho and they're that dumb enough to pay for him, then come and take him, man. Because for certain, man, I'm done with this player. I've never rated this player, and the fact that it's looking likely that he's gonna go, listen, we can only be optimistic. So Niche fan says, I think we should play 4-3-3. Mazraoui in the 6, Baleba in the 8, Ahmad in the 10. We're just screwed during AFCON. Mazraoui in the 6. Nah, Mazraoui's not a 6. I think that's doing too much. If you just play a 4-3-3, this is how I'd play it. I'd play Onana in goal, a back 4 of Mazraoui right back, Lenny Yoro and Matthias de Ligt centre back, Patrick Dorgu left back. I think that's a solid defence. And then the deepest line midfielder, Casemiro. I'd play, if Baleba signs, Kobe and Baleba ahead of Casemiro. Again, Casemiro can just sit in that DM position, orchestrate, and his experience. Baleba left-footed for the balance. Kobe Mino on the other side. And then the 3, I'd play. Again, it's difficult because that means you've got to leave out Mbeumo or Ahmad. It's tough. It's tough because one of them's got to be left out. But I'd have Cunha on the left, Xerxes through the middle, and then Ahmad or Mbeumo. I'd probably say Mbeumo But then if you got the likes of Ahmad, Sesko on the bench to change things, listen, all of a sudden that team looks very good. And again, I just hope a manager comes in and sees the light, and sees how good this team could be. So, and again, the team I just named in the 4-3-3, that team will be dangerous, I believe. I'll be absolutely dangerous. And again, you've got players on the bench that can make impacts as well. So, but who knows, man? Who knows? Jay says, Gav, do you agree with me that Diogo Jota was underrated? Yeah, listen, and this isn't off the back of the fact that obviously he sadly passed away. For me, Jota was definitely underrated. I don't think people realize how much. Again, if you're a Liverpool fan, you'd realize this, but how good in the air he was. For a guy of his height, he was ridiculous in the air. You know, he was clinical as well. I liked him at Wolves with his partnership with Raul Jimenez. I think they had Raul Jimenez, Jota, and I think it was Adama Traore, I think, on the right-hand side. Or it might have been Neto at the time, I can't remember. Or Podence, was it Podence? Well, I can't remember, one of them two. But his combination with Raul Jimenez was dangerous for Wolves, you know. And as I said, man, he was definitely underrated. You know, if I'm looking at, was he an automatic starter for what Liverpool wanted to go to? I would have to say no. But in terms of impact sub, you know, goal scoring, his threat in the air, yeah, it was dangerous, man. Very underrated. And rest in peace, Diogo Jota, man, and to his brother as well. Sad what happened. So Decilion says, are you on Charlie? You keep sniffing and rubbing your nose. You know what? Yeah, I'm actually glad someone's actually said that. So I've got hay fever. So, but the fact that you said, "Am I on Charlie?" Do I look like I'm on Charlie? I'm actually laughing because that's the first time someone's actually said that. But guys, yeah, if you see me doing that to my nose, it's because I've got hay fever, you know, and the pollen's quite high today, man, and I haven't had my tablet. So, but yeah, no, I'm not on Charlie, man. But I have to laugh at that, man. That's a funny comment because I've never heard that one being said to me. But yeah, but if I keep sniffing my nose like that, it's because I've got hay fever. But big up, man. That's actually funny. Am I on Charlie? Gakpo or Trossard? That I ain't gonna lie. That one's killed me. That was funny. I've never had someone say that to me. Sancho rumors are very quiet. Jay, who don't you take? Why don't you take him? Yeah, listen, Sancho, man, I want him to stay at United. I've never hid that fact, to be fair. But again, we have to wait and see if he stays or if he goes. You know, I think everything's pointing towards at the moment him going. So Gav, you doing a fantasy football league for the channel? Do you know what? I've never really thought about it, to be honest with you. Like, I had a friend say to me the other day about fantasy football league. I've never really been interested in that, to be fair. So I don't even know how you even do it. First of all. So yeah, it might be something I might look at. But yeah, I've never really been someone that's been into fantasy football league personally. Guys, I'm still laughing at that comment. I'm still laughing at that comment, man. That's killed me. I ain't gonna lie. Oh, young fighter, great. I like these ones. So young fighter says Neymar or Cristiano. So Neymar or Ronaldo. For me, this might shock people, but it's an easy answer for me, and it's Neymar. And it's not based on, again, a lot of these things are based on, it can be subjective, you know. So when people are asking these kind of questions, you know, it needs to be narrowed down. Sorry, bear me 1 minute. I'm trying to look for the Where's it gone? I think he's actually deleted it. No, sorry. So yeah, I think a lot of these questions are subjective because when you're saying Neymar or Ronaldo, like if you're talking about goals, then you're gonna lean towards Ronaldo. But I like to look at things as who was the pure best footballer, the best player, and for me is Neymar. You know, Neymar for me, as I said, in terms of football ability and talent, you know, and what he's done, Messi's the only one really of the modern era that can really chat to him, really, you know, because Neymar was that good. Like he's generational. You know, I look at Messi's generational, Neymar's generational, definitely. I think Cristiano Ronaldo for me, you know, when like people might think this is a bit confusing, yeah, but not for me. I don't actually think Ronaldo's generational. I think what it is with Ronaldo, he was a very, very, very talented player, and he maximized the best of the career. So, in terms of the work ethic that he put into it, made him what he is. Obviously, the brand Ronaldo CR7. I think the brand is why he's as big as what he is. Obviously, you know, but I think his football ability, of course, has been top level. You know, and again, the fact that he turns up week in week out in terms of when he was at his peak in terms of goals. But I'm looking purely at the footballer, the best footballer, and Ronaldo for me wasn't as talented as a player as Neymar or as Messi, you know. But in terms of the career that Ronaldo's had, there's no denying that the guy's had an unbelievable career. But in terms of just pure ability, and Ronaldo had ability, don't get me wrong, you know, but pure ability, Neymar's clear of Ronaldo. He is, you know, and so is Messi, you know. So yeah, it might go over people's heads, but Neymar, Ronaldo, for me, Neymar definitely. And again, it's subjective because we have to narrow down what we're actually discussing. Because if it's a pure footballer, Neymar. If it's numbers, then Ronaldo. Wayne says Zlatan or Suarez. Ah, difficult one, man. I hate these ones. Um, I'm gonna say Zlatan. I'm gonna say Ibra. I think Ibra's underrated, man. Yeah, he's underrated. You know, I hate these questions because it could easily be Suarez. It could easily be Zlatan. But yeah, I'm gonna say Zlatan. But yeah, there's nothing in it really, man. But I'm gonna say Zlatan. Um, Big up to Gamer. Big up Gamer. You guys are so guys. Gamer's a Newcastle fan. For those of you that are new into the chat, so they're finally signed a player. Looking like, you know, they're signing Malik Tior from AC Milan, and hopefully the fact that AC Milan are getting, I think it's like 35 mil from hope they're getting 35 mil from Newcastle for Malik Tior. Hopefully that might be the money that allows them to go for Rasmus Hojlund. You know, I think watch out for that one, guys. Watch out for that. I think that could be the money that gets Rasmus Hojlund at AC Milan. Who knows? Big up to Wallace from Laos. Yeah, big up Wallace for coming through. Yeah, big up Gamer, man. Hope you're enjoying your holiday, bro. Hope you're enjoying your holiday, and yeah, when you get back, man, no worries. We'll see what Newcastle are really on, if they keep Isak or not. But big up for coming through, man. Yeah, big up to Lumi, man. Big up Lumi each and every time. Big up yourself. So Gunners fan says, Gav, why do you rate left-footed players more highly? Bro, to be honest with you, do you know why? Because I'm left-footed. and it's not that. It's not that, yeah. Left-footed players, they're naturally gifted. You know, there's a saying, if you're right-handed and left-footed, you're just naturally gifted, and that's what I am. So any left-footed player you know, I have a liking to, you know, not everyone. I mean, Rasmus Hojlund's left-footed, and look how shit he is. You know what I mean? So it's not that, but yeah, I do like left-footers. I love left-footed strikers because, again, left-footed strikers are a rarity. You know, you look at the left-footed strikers now. You've got Erling Haaland, you've got John Duran, you've got Endrick as well. Who else is there? I'm not even going to mention Rasmus Hojlund because I just don't rate him as a player. So I'm not even going to talk about him. Who else is there? I mean, Kai Havertz is left-footed, but he's not a striker. He's more of a 10 for me. Who else is there? Yeah, there ain't too many left-footed strikers, I'm telling you. This is why I loved Adriano. If anyone knows Adriano, the Emperor, Brazilian, he was left-footed, and he was an absolute demon of a player. So, but yeah, no, I just have a preference to left-footed, man. This is why I want Carlos Baleba as well in that midfield. But as I said, yeah, it's not that I rate left-footed players more highly. I just think left-footed players just have something special, man. They're different. Look at Lamine Yamal, prime example. You know, Neymar was right-footed. Look how talented Neymar is. You know, what's his name? Obviously, Messi's left-footed. You know, Paulo Dybala, one of my favorite players, left-footed. You know, so yeah, I have a preference for left-footed players, but it's not that I rate them highly. I just think they're just special. You know, again, someone like Ousmane Dembele, I've actually heard people tell me that Dembele is left-footed. Dembele is not left-footed; he's right-footed, but he can use his left foot very well. But I've heard people tell me that Dembele is left-footed, and look at me straight in the face and tell me that Dembele is left-footed, Ousmane Dembele. And again, he's not left-footed. He's not, but he's both-footed, but he's predominantly right. You know, but big up to Mohammed. Yeah, big up to Crawley Eagle says, Cunha and Mbuemo looking really good. They just need to get the goals to come. So you think Sesko will complement them? I think Joshua Zirkzee complements Mbuemo and Cunha more. But again, I'm looking at I'm looking at Zirkzee, Sesko, Cunha, and Mbuemo. And you can throw Ahmad in there as well for me. I'm looking at them as a 5, you know, interchanging. You know, you might see Zirkzee start one game. You might see Sesko start one game. You know, I think Cunha and Mbuemo, again, one of them might play in the 9 at times. So I think it's important to look at them as a 5, not look at them individually. You know, my preference for a front 3 is Zirkzee, Mbuemo, and Cunha. You know, but you can easily put, and again, in this system, but you can easily put Ahmad in there somewhere. You know what I mean? So it's one of them things. But as I said, get Hojlund out there, get Garnacho gone, and then that all of a sudden that attack looks good. And again, I will still bring back Jadon Sancho. I don't care what anyone says, but it's unlikely, you know. But we can always dream, man. But I think Sancho has a lot to offer this club still, man. But who knows? Big up to JKM. Newcastle are taking L's and left and rights. Yeah, listen. They're getting Malik Tior over the line, man. So that might put them in a better mood, put it that way. So, Gav, I will give you Eze, Walton, Munoz, Mateta, and Guehi all for 150. Yeah, that's never going to happen. That's never going to happen. You're looking at Walton alone as possibly being about 80 to 100 million. Eze's about 60, so that's already past 150. So, yeah, you're not getting them. But look at that. Eze, Walton, Munoz, Mateta, and Guehi. They're all going to play for Palace today, and they're all players that you would say can go and play for the top 6 teams. So it just shows you how good Palace are doing. They've even got a midfielder as well called Czech Dekure, who's out injured. I think he's actually decent as well. So they've got a very good team there. You know, Maxence Lacroix as well, the centre back. You know, he's quite good as well. So yeah, Palace is not going to be easy, man. They've got a very good team there, but you'd expect Liverpool to get over the line, man. You know. Right, I'm trying to skim through some of your comments, guys. I won't read out everyone's comments, but appreciate everyone coming through as always. Guys, we've got 19 likes. Let's at least try and hit 20, guys, please. Come on, smash the like button if you're enjoying the content. And as I said, make sure you sub to the channel as well. Just one hit of the button. Yeah, Ilya Dragunov. I know someone will mention that. Wrestler, yeah. Big up to Jay. Yeah, Wayne, I agree, man. Bruno should be stripped the captaincy. He's no captain. As I keep mentioning before, I've never seen a captain that moans at his teammates the way that he does. You know, if he loses the ball, it's someone else's fault. If he gives the ball away, he'll start trying to direct his hands and say to them they should have ran. The guy's no captain. He's all about himself. And as long as he keeps doing that, you know, he's going to be a detriment to the team. Because his attitude, you know, the fact that he tries to do everything and he's ill-disciplined, it's a problem. It's a massive problem. Big up to Lewis Jackson. Big up, Lewis. Big up to Sonny March as well. Guys, come on, smash the like button, guys. If you're coming through, make sure you smash the like button and sub to the channel. Yeah, Neto, Adama, Raul Jimenez, and Jota. No, Jota didn't play in the 10. No, Jota wasn't in the 10 because they played a 3 at the time. So it was Raul Jimenez the striker, and then it would have been, I think Adama was on one wing, and I think Adama Traore was on the right wing, and then Jota was on the left. I think Neto was coming through. I think Neto eventually replaced Adama Traore. But I think it was Jota, Traore, and Jimenez at the time. And yeah, Daniel Podence, very good player. Daniel Podence, for me, was he was a regen of Eden Hazard. He wasn't Eden Hazard's level, but he played just like him. So Barbara Joseph says, "What's Charlie?" What's Charlie? I won't answer that, but I'll let the chat. Yeah. Big up to Exedra. Big up, bro, for coming on. Big up, man. Big up. Yeah, Ilanga got signed ages ago, Wayne. That was the start. That was the start of the window. Milan want Jackson as well. Nah, listen, Milan, forget about Nicholas Jackson, man, and come and get Rasmus Hojlund. Don't do this to us. Come on. So Dave says Ronaldo's stat pads towards the end of his career, he evolved or devolved into a poacher number 9. And you know what, Dave? Big up yourself because, again, you see with Ronaldo, yeah, I preferred Ronaldo at Man United. So I watched Ronaldo's career when he first came to United. You know, as a skinny 18-year-old, I think he was at the time. And again, I watched his whole career at Man United until he grew into the man, and then eventually left for Real Madrid. So the Ronaldo that I prefer to see was at Man United because he was a skillful winger. You know, he was getting goals. When he started getting the numbers at United, this is when he changed because he was competing with Messi. You know, and at the time when Ronaldo won the Ballon d'Or playing the Premier League, you know, it was him against Messi. And then obviously when he eventually went to Real Madrid, they were in the same league. But then what happened is that the pure footballer was Messi, and Ronaldo was the manufactured hard worker, basically. So for Ronaldo to keep relevant with Messi, he had to keep getting the numbers. which is why at Real Madrid you'd see Karim Benzema play from the left, and then Ronaldo go through the middle because he's more likely to get a goal from that position. But the whole team was geared around Ronaldo getting numbers, and obviously they were winning trophies as well. But Ronaldo kept relevant with Messi because of numbers. Because if you look at the pure footballer, Messi's just a pure footballer. He's the best footballer. But Ronaldo, and credit to him, kept relevant by keep on getting numbers. And you can't fault his professionalism. His mindset, his mentality. But if we're talking about the pure footballer, it's Messi all day long, all day long. So, but big up, man. Great question or great comment. So Wayne says, who do you think deserves the Ballon d'Or? Again, I think I've touched on this so many times. For me, as I keep saying, it's between Yamal and Ousmane Dembele. Yamal being the best player, and his numbers were decent as well. And then Dembele winning the Champions League. And again, his numbers were good. So them two are the front runners for me. I think special mention to Vitinha, special mention to Nuno Mendes. Although I don't think they'll win it, but them two have had a very good season. But I think between Yamal and Dembele, I'd give it to Yamal because he's the best footballer. But again, Dembele does deserve it because of what PSG won this season, and also because of the numbers he got. So yeah, I'm gonna say them two. Rafinha again deserves a shout because of his numbers, but for me, if you're picking one Barcelona player, for me, it has to be Yamal. But again, it can go to either one, either one of Yamal or Dembele. But I think those two are the front runners for sure. Big up to Oscar Piastri. Big up. Wirtz masterclass incoming. Yeah, listen, I wouldn't be surprised, man. Florian Wirtz is a top player. So I won't be surprised, man. And they've got a very good team, Liverpool. Yeah, big up, Jay, man. Appreciate it. Big up. 20 likes, guys. Big up yourselves. Yeah, I have to agree with that. I hope Reece James, Lavia, and Fofana all stay fit because you're looking at three of their best players when fit. But them guys are just injury prone. And I'll tell you now, if they manage to keep them three fit with Caicedo, Cole Palmer, João Pedro, Cucurella, Enzo, they've got some talented players there, man, and they're gonna be a problem. I think their weakness for me is in the wide areas still, though. I think, if they want Garnacho, then come and get him. But listen, Gittins, Garnacho, Gittins is direct, but they need someone to that just takes them to another level on that left wing. But who knows, man. But guys, listen up. Big up yourselves for coming on each and every time. It's much appreciated. Again, we've got 20 likes on the channel today, which is decent. Obviously, I want to try and hit 30 as a minimum requirement. But yeah, listen, big up yourselves for coming through and interacting with the chat. Again, Rasmus Hojlund, let's hope AC Milan get this deal done. If it's a loan deal, I'll be happy if it's a loan deal. If it's an option to buy, an obligation, I think just getting him at the club is a must. You know what I mean? I think once he goes at the club, I think we can start looking at Man United seriously again and start saying, yeah, we're on our way back. But there's still work to do, man. I think this week, let's hope there's movement on Baleba. Let's hope Garnacho and Hojlund, as I said, both go out the window. But Baleba for me is the next signing that needs to be made. And again, Sesko's been done now. Baleba's going to be the main focus. You'd hope. So let's hope that that happens. So, but yeah, guys, big ups for coming on each and every time. Big up to all the mods, guys. Check out my other content as well. You know, check out my posts. You know, make sure you guys put your vote in for the post as well. And as I said, it's much appreciated you guys that come on and interact with the channel. As I said, guys, I've got a sit down that I've done yesterday that hopefully will be coming out this week. So when it's ready, I'll let you guys know. And as I said, make sure you view that, because it's a good good podcast that I've done with someone, sit down podcast with just talking about different stuff. So yeah, if you guys get a chance, give that a watch. And guys, also as well, I got an announcement that's going to be coming out as well. So I'll probably let you guys know that. What we in now? August. I'll probably let you guys know that next month, end of next month. So yeah, I've got something that's coming up, and yeah, you guys will be very interested to hear what that's going to be. So yeah, as I said, make sure you guys keep supporting the channel as always, and make sure you guys check out my content, check out my posts. And as I said, it's much appreciated you guys coming through and interacting with the channel each and every time. So yeah, going to be back tomorrow, normal time with Jonas at 6 o'clock. So yeah, make sure you guys come on and give us some support there as well. And as always, keep giving us your questions. So yeah, back tomorrow. I might be back in the morning actually, guys, at 11:30. So probably back tomorrow morning at 11:30. I'm not sure yet, but definitely we'll be back at 6 o'clock with Jonas. So as I said, keep an eye on the schedule. Keep an eye. Make sure your notifications are on as well. And as I said, it's much appreciated you guys coming through each and every time. And I'm going to catch you guys tomorrow. I'm going to enjoy this weather now. Nice little barbecue. But before that, go to the gym. And then watch this Community Shield with Liverpool and Palace. So, so yeah, good little Sunday. But guys, big up yourselves each and every time. And I'm going to catch you guys in a bit. Take it easy.